this question, and thank you, Dr. Abla, again for the kind invitation. Actually, I will try to give a new lens to this conversation based on the question that was raised by you. Starting this conversation, we start talking about Gaza, about Israel, about Turkey, Iran, etc. But we can't neglect at one region, West Asia and North Africa region, we also have different countries under conflict. We have Yemen, we have Sudan. And our region is very well known from the early beginning, not only by its conflict, social tension, and its war, but also for limited resources. We were one of the countries in the world with a very limited natural resources when it's come to water, when it's come to food, and also when it's come to energy. To give you some numbers, 15 out of 17 countries that are most water-stressed country in the world are located in the WANA region. 5 out of these 12 countries are located in the WANA region, in the Levant itself, in the Mashraq region, where Israel conflict is taking place. And the Israel conflict taking place in Palestine doesn't only affect the people there, it affects the water quality, it affects the availability of the water, and also the accessibility of these limited resources. So the problem in our region when it's come to resources, not only the limitation, but in different work contexts, water has been utilized as a tool to push power. In order to control the power, you need to control the water resources. And we see that in different countries. For example, in Yemen, it happened, there is different incidents where water dams and treated water plants were pumped by different radicalized group, and after rehabilitation of these dams and treated plant, it was repumped again in order to gain power. And the same happened during the Syria conflict in the past a few months and also years before the regime come. So when you control the water, you are giving the power to the radicalized group, and accordingly you are controlling the food production. Food production, then agriculture failure. Agriculture failure, then price shocks for the food. When the price shocks, then there is accordingly social tension and social conflict in different areas. Our region, if I want to describe it, we do have 3 scenarios: business as usual, more fragmentation, and collaboration. When we're talking about business as usual, we are talking about fragmented region. We can't deny that. Either it's because of Israel or because of the countries themselves in our region. Then if we continue doing business as usual, we will end up having more fragmented region instead of having a region with complementarity. Then we do have the 3rd scenario, which is collaboration. And collaboration, it doesn't only limit it to resolving the war between Israel and Palestine, but it's also collaboration by all aspects in our region. We are not saying that all the countries are not doing good. Some countries is doing much better than the other country, but at the end of the day, we do not have sovereignty in our resources. And do not having this, then we do have a question mark when it's come to our security. And when I'm talking about security, it's not only about the armed security. It's a security in general, peace and security agenda. If I want to shift the lens a little bit about what's happening in Gaza, I believe the word that can describe the international dilemma is the twin realities. Different countries that in the past used to advocate for the human rights were the first who were armed and fueling the conflict in Gaza. And at the same time, they are having, in the other hand, the human rights agenda. Same for the climate change agenda. Different countries that supported and hosted Kyoto Agreement, Paris Agreement, and they were the first to sign. They were also the first in sending arms to Israel in order to do this war against Gaza. And to give you some number, if you allow me, so the carbon footprint in the first 15 months of the war against Gaza is more than what was produced in 100 individual countries. And rebuilding effort could generate, in addition to 3 million to 6 million of CO2 equivalent. And this figure is higher than annual assumption or emission of over 135 countries. So conflict, war has a cost, environmental cost, resources cost, livelihood, and most importantly, people. Can I continue? For the collaboration scenario. Yeah. When we talk about the collaboration scenario, which is the scenario that this is our ultimate hope the day after. It's not only limited to rehabilitation and rebuilding. I believe it should be out more than the damaged cities and rebuilding it. It should be also focused on the infrastructure. It should be also focused on job opportunity, job creation, inclusive livelihood, education. And when we say education, I believe different countries in the region can support Gaza in that. There is different initiative in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Egypt that support students and youth with a scholarship to attend our schools in Jordan and Egypt and other where we can support them in this kind of collaboration. Health system also needs to be rehabilitated, accessibility of resources, and also the good governance approach. And when we say good governance approach, it means that we need collaboration, co-management between the government, the state, the local communities, end user people, and the private sector with different instruments. And all of these under the umbrella of accountability. Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Ziad, but it's related to what was mentioned, related to the youth. To be honest, I want to provide you with one example in how youth can influence the change of agenda of different countries. When the war against Gaza started, we had different projects funded by the Germans. And the main beneficiary of them were youth. A lot of them dropped out of the project, and several projects were shut down because of their dropping out. And a project that was funded by Germany now is reshaping their objective and reshaping their agenda toward the genocide in Gaza. And now they are reshaping how they put their input in that in order to regain the youth to be participated in their project. So the youth has a huge potential in influencing the agenda of different, not only in TikTok, but also in projects.